Hello, my friends, and welcome to the first installment of Brain Flowers. I am your host, Mandy Hayes, and I am super excited to be here with you today. There are so many things that have been on my mind to talk about, different things to, create content about, to create conversations about, to have the conversations, to spark the inspiration and not just you guys, but myself as well, from the feedback or the conversations that are going to be had on this show, which I'm really excited about. So thank you for being here today. Man, oh man. So a little bit about me. I'm Mandy. I have been doing spiritual work with a collective for the last 7 years or so professionally, and at one capacity or another with either, tarot readings, energy readings, Reiki, what else? Akashic readings. Just got done with my certification for QHHT. That's quantum healing hypnosis technique created by Dolores Cannon. That has been an incredible journey in itself, like a super incredible journey. Yeah, I love this work so much. I love this work. This is what I'm meant to do. This is what I'm here for. And like, really, in a nutshell, what I do is I create different avenues and give people tools to help them figure out and remember like who they are. And that sounds so silly, like, I know who I am. I'm Mandy. I'm a mom. I do this. I'm that, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, yeah, in this lifetime, these things are a part of you. They create the personality that is you, but like, who are you really, before all of the karmic back and forth, before the wounding, before the trauma that happened, before the negative programming, before all of these things that kind of like put dirt on your light, right? Like, what is the true light that is you? That's my job, to help you figure that out. And so there's so many ways to go about doing that with like tarot readings, for example. Tarot is a tool that's used, yes, to help relay information, but it's also in that, for me at least, it's intuitive, it's a knowing, I'm reading your energy field and getting information that way as well, to help you understand where you're at, what hurdles you have to go through in order to achieve X, Y, and Z, or different lessons that you're either going through right now or that are going to come up, and not to give you the information in order for you to like avoid or deter from whatever is about to happen, but to be able to consciously like have an awareness to where you can work through those things, right? Because we all signed up to be here. So we're gonna go through the shit. It's just helping us along the way to make it through the stuff, to alchemize the feelings that we're having that are created while going through the things, right? So there's tarot readings, for example. Akashic readings are fantastic because it gives you insight into literally who you are, where your soul originated from, what type of things have you picked up along the way through different lifetimes that are still affecting you now. Which chakras are they affecting? How are they affecting those chakras? The beginning of the Akashic readings is so interesting because, like, where your soul originates from, and you could have a secondary place where your soul originated from before it came here, gives a character profile, right? Excuse my hands, I was tie-dyeing shirts for my kids. And then also, like, the majority of people work through one particular chakra, and like that's that's what they work through. Clock says 1, 2, 3. That's confirmation for me. They work through one particular chakra. So, like, for example, if you work through your root chakra, you are more tribal based, you're more community based, you're very family oriented, and that's like what gets you going. That's what sparks joy in you. And that's like your one of your drives, your main drive for this lifetime, right? And there's some people who work through two different chakras. It's not like extremely common, but it is common. It does happen. And that could either be they could contradict each other, which could make you have a lot of polarity in your life, or they could complement each other in a way to where your divine self-expression could be you work through your root chakra, but also your throat chakra. So you have divine communication abilities that just come naturally to you, but you're also very rooted in community. So you might have a job where you speak out in your community, like on a platform of some sort, and that would be how you are like divinely curating your life based on the things that drive you, because those are the energy centers that you work from, right? Super cool. There's also Reiki, which is my all-time favorite modality in the whole world. When I'm excited, I sing. So, oh my goodness, that has been a long journey, and it started 10 years ago, I want to say. Officially started 10 years ago when I got certified in Reiki. However, before that, it was pretty incredible, and we'll get into that a different time. However, with Reiki, it's amazing because I'm literally working in people's energy fields with them. And not only am I sensing where their energy is, if there needs to be like amplified energy in that area, if healing needs to occur in that area, if there's negative residual energy in that area that's stagnant that needs to be like taken out and given back to source and then new energy put in, that's all in itself like, yeah, that's Reiki. However, I also intuit information from your energy field, and I write it all down on a piece of paper, and then I give it to you afterwards, and we talk about all the things. And it's super exciting because there's so many different things that come through, like so many different things. Guides could come through, your passed over loved ones could come through. If there is something from a past life that was like a traumatic event, for example, that really hurt, say your sacral chakra, your heart chakra, whatever, like if it's necessary, that could come up, and I could perceive that that past life impression in my mind's eye, and us talking about it could help release that, right? On top of the energy healing. Oh my goodness. So it's just so incredible. That is like the light of my life. I love that. And then we have QHHT sessions, which has been incredible. And we're going to talk about that a little bit today. So QHHT is quantum healing hypnosis technique created by Dolores Cannon. It is a form of hypnosis where you're in the somnambulistic state, you are going through past lives, sometimes multiple past lives. And then we go and speak to your subconscious mind, where before we go in there, you have like a list of questions that you want answered. And when we go into your subconscious, those questions are answered. And the experiences that I have had thus far have been crazy and amazing. So crazy and amazing. And it just continues to grow. And I understand why, after you're done with the course, you have to have 25 sessions with people, for free before you can like officially become a QHHT practitioner. And, in the beginning I understood too, but it was like, oh man, do I really really have to, because I wanted it to, I wanted to just like bang them out, right? And so I booked all 25 sessions within the matter of a 2-month period. And it was incredible. And it's over now. I'm taking people, as paying customers to do the QHHT sessions, and that so far has even been amazing. But oh my goodness, all of the feelings within myself from the beginning of like, oh my God, okay, we're gonna do this. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be fine. I already had done past life regressions before, so I understood the hypnosis aspect of it. But nothing like this. Oh my God, nothing like this. It has been so healing for not just the client, but also for me, like as a practitioner, learning a whole bunch of different things from people's experiences, right? Like I said in the beginning, I was very scared, didn't want to mess anything up. Like, oh my God, what if people don't have an experience? What if this doesn't happen? Blah, blah, blah. To, things were good, things were going good. And then towards like the middle of the sessions, I think I was at like, I don't know, 12 sessions or 13 or something like that. I was like, should I even be doing this? Oh my God, this is so hard. La, la, la. And now, that everything is all said and done, oh my God, I get so excited because you literally do not know. You don't know what this person is going to experience. You have no freaking idea. They don't know. And what I have learned is, as the old saying goes, like, you can go in with expectations of what you're going to receive, how you're going to receive it, la da 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 da. I tell people, don't go with any expectations at all, because you are going to receive what you need, not what you want. Some people leave with exactly what they wanted, and that's perfect. Obviously, those people were very aligned to the things that they needed to hear or see or understand. But I've had clients, a couple, who have come in, went through the whole induction process, went through past lives, some of them multiple past lives, like very detailed. And then when it came to talking to their subconscious, nothing happened. And so they left kind of disappointed, and I left disappointed. And then come to find out a few days later, I'm getting messages from these people like, oh my God, the amount of physical healing that has been happening since I had left is insane. Like, people being able to like move their hands freely after they've been in pain for a long period of time, or wounds disappearing and joints being repaired, and like, it is just incredible. And that was the reason why I signed up for that course. I'm like, I need to learn this, right? So there is that as well. But I'm not here to just talk about all of the things that I love to do. I'm here to talk about everything. Literally everything. Some of these might be solo episodes. Some of them are definitely going to have people on here, where we have just awesome conversations about everything. And yeah, this was just letting you get to know me a little bit better. So, what is energy, right? What are we? Why are we here? What is the human experience? What is happening right now with the collective consciousness, with like everything that's going on the earth at this moment, all the things that are being discovered, whether it be, metaphysical or physical aspects of our earth that are being uncovered, different things in the government that are being brought to the surface, whether that is, planned or not planned. we are all changing, like drastically, right? And it's incredible because, like, what a wonderful time to be alive. Seriously, what a wonderful time to be alive right now. In creating this podcast, this YouTube channel that will be a podcast very soon. My goodness. I've always had so much to say, like a lot. But I am very, very lucky to have been blessed with quite a few people who I could actually talk about this stuff to, and that they can talk about it with me, so I know that I'm not fucking crazy, you know? And it's becoming more mainstream because people are waking up, you know? So, like, what does that mean to wake up, right? I had to think about this a couple of months ago when, like, spiritual awakening was, like, you just heard it everywhere, you know? And I know that I had gone through a few so far, and I feel like we're constantly waking up. New levels of understanding, new ways of consciousness, new all of these things. So I really had to sit back and ask, like, okay, well, what does that mean? Awakening, spiritual awakening. That imposes the idea that we've all been asleep, right? So when I think about that, I think about people being on autopilot. And I was absolutely one of those people, you know, but there's different levels of being on autopilot. Like, if you look back to when you were younger and there's different things that you had done or participated in or been around, you're like, ooh, I cannot I cannot believe that I let that happen, or I cannot believe that I did that, or I cannot believe I was with that person. You know, we've all been there. We've all been there, man. But seeing that helps us understand the level of awakening that we're at now. So when we're on autopilot and we're all seemingly like asleep, what happens when you wake up is you start understanding the mechanics behind how our world works. The school system, our government, our interactions with our friends, our family, all of these different things. And it can be so bombarding that it's scary, you know? A spiritual awakening is a literal, magical, beautiful thing to experience. However, like, it is not for the faint of heart. Not at all. There's so many things that go into it. Like, once you really start seeing things for what they are, you'll never be the same again. Once you open that door, it can never, ever close, you know? So, there's so many aspects of this to talk about. Like, when you're first born and, you know, you come into this world, what is your level of awakening at that point? Because, like, for me, just for an example, because I can only speak from my perspective because I am me, right? Ever since I was little, dreams have always been super vivid. I would wake up in the middle of the night from a dream that I'm having and, like, see whatever it is that I was dreaming, like, in my room with me for a while until it, like, dematerialized, right? I've always seen what seems to be, I call it static. Other people call it, like, the Matrix, or what did Amy call it? I don't remember. Anyways, this, I'll call it static for lack of better words, it looks literally like static all over the place. It covers everything and it encompasses everything and it moves. It's like grains of sand that are see-through, and it's everywhere all the time. And I've seen that ever since I was a little kid. Especially when I was laying in my bed at night, I would be up on my top bunk and I would lay in bed and I could see it, because you can see it a lot better in the dark or in like natural sunlight, it falling down on my face, but it would take on the colors of like red and green and blue, and I would like try and catch it in my mouth like it was like Mike and Ike's or something. It's tiny little kid mind for you. And at that time I had to have been like, I don't know, 4 or 5 maybe. So that being said, for me personally, like I've always known the physical world that we live in to be to know that there's another layer there, even if other people can't see it or don't want to, you know? So the spiritual awakening process for me has been long. It's been long. And oh my God, there's been lessons, just like everybody else. When you go through those times of a teenager, oh my God, I had the biggest heart wounds in the whole world of like, no one likes me. I'm never gonna find love. I'm not worthy, blah, blah, blah. So when I fell for a boy with long brown hair and hazel eyes and a dimple, oh my God. And he liked me back. It was like, well, sticking to you like freaking glue. I'm not going anywhere, no matter, how the relationship was and blah, 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 blah. But going through these different things, leaving him and, having a child, and didn't learn my lesson the first time, so going into another relationship that was worse than the first one, having another child, and then meeting my best friend, soul sister in the whole freaking world, out of nowhere, boom, taught me my worth. And within about 6 months of us meeting, we both threw down on a house together in Ferndale, and it was the most incredible year of my life. That was a huge awakening point. Oh my God, it was so incredibly like monumental when it comes to something that like projectiled me and her on this journey of self-awareness and self-discovery and learning about all of the things and coming back to, the tarot cards. The tarot cards that I got when I was 13 that, my ex thought was stupid, and I did them in secret, and then like I put them to the side when we moved in together and left all of that stuff behind, and blah blah blah, even though all of this crazy stuff was happening around me to show me like, oh no, it's still here, this is a big part of you, come on girl, and I was so wrapped up in my human that I didn't listen, that when I had met my bestie sister and we moved in together, it was an incredible beginning to a ride, and that ride is still happening, so word vomit. When we're talking about spiritual awakening and waking up to what is going on around us, what life really is. It is profound. It is, I just got chills all over my legs. It is scary. It is extremely intense. But oh my God, it's so worth it. I remember being with my middle child's dad. Sorry, numbers are a huge thing for me, and right now my clock says 1, 2, 2, 3. So I'm like, yes. When I so yeah, I just like threw myself off track. I'm like, what was I gonna say? Oh yeah, when I was with my middle child's dad. Oh my god, that relationship was so that was so traumatic. You know, he was coming from a very wounded place. I was coming from a very wounded place. And there were so many things that transpired throughout that relationship that I am grateful that it happened. But like, oh my god. I hope no one ever goes through any of that craziness. But anyways, I remember telling him, I wish I was stupid. And he looked at me like, what? I'm like, yeah. I wish I was stupid because then I wouldn't know any better. I wouldn't know that this is fucked up. I wouldn't realize that I deserved better. My heart would not be breaking because I have a family that I'm trying to create and keep together, like this sandcastle that just keeps falling down, and I'm like utilizing all of the energy that I have to like keep the sandcastle up and keep it up and keep it up, knowing damn well that like this is not good, you know? So a part of me like just really wish that I was fucking dumb. Because it was so loud and in my face that something needed to change. I needed to change. And, you know, it's like life, source, great spirit, God, whatever name you would like to put upon it, is going to keep just throwing things at you until you get it, right? And you do the thing that you need to do to fix the situation and like leave or make amends or make a change in some sort of direction. Oh my goodness. Then, like I said, it wasn't until I met my bestie sister that I understood like what I wanted my baseline relationship to be like. Like if I just met this girl, right? Just met her at work. And she actually sees me better than the person that I had kids with and like made a family with, then like what the fuck am I doing? Right? Right? That was a huge lesson. And once I learned that lesson and did something about it, oh my god, my whole life changed. So that's how that works, right? So, man, that is a part of waking up. That is a part of the spiritual awakening, right? Becoming awake to your truest self and understanding your self-worth, understanding the different things that are going on in your life that no longer vibe with the frequency that you are giving off, right? Because when you raise your vibration, which sounds like one of those it's a new age term that's like, well, what does that mean? Words. When you raise your vibration, the things that you matched like that frequency with that were lower before, if they are not going to come up and meet you where you are, they fall away. In terms of everything, a job, friendships, relationships, situations, places. It's crazy. It is crazy. So how do we raise our frequency? There's many different ways to do that, but that is what I found that I love to do to help people facilitate that. I don't do the work, they do the work. I just give them tools and work with them to help them achieve that goal, right? So we're all energetic beings, and you can even take pictures of your energy field, Like, that's how sophisticated we are now. Because we have to have physical proof of everything, which I understand. That's fine. However, we all have energy fields, right? So when we go through traumatic events in our life, and trauma it means different things for everybody, but when we go through traumatic things in our life, we hold on a subconscious level to negative emotions that stick inside of us if we don't work our way through them properly, right? So fear, you know, betrayal, I'm trying to think of more, anger, sadness, despair, all of these different things, they're heavy. Like, they are heavy, which is why, like, anxiety, for example, I'm getting chills all over. When you feel anxious about something, your chest gets, like, you can physically feel it. You can feel the thing, right, that you're feeling anxious about. You can feel it in your physical body. Sadness. When you feel sad, you feel heavy. You feel down. You feel like there's a big weight on you, or a dark cloud that's just like following you around. It's because those emotions are heavy. So when they are in your energy field and you're walking around with them every single day, going through the motions, after all of these years where you're picking up despair, a couple years later you pick up fear, a couple years later you pick up anger, a couple years later you pick up this and that and blah, blah, blah. You're not going to live out your divine self-expression in the proper way. There's no way, because you're blocked, you're bombarded. There's no way that you could reach this higher frequency of being, which is love and happiness and all these different things, if you're constantly being weighed down by all of these negative emotions, all of these negative thought patterns, all of this trauma that you're walking around with, So when we say, like, oh, you raise your frequency, raise your vibration, get to like the happy, get to the love, get to the optimist, get to the, whatever, you have to alchemize those heavy emotions in order to do that thing, right? So that is like, when it comes to spiritual awakening, it's heavy because you all of a sudden become aware of your feelings. You become more sensitive to energy, and not just your energy, but the energy of a room, the energy of other people. It is so wild. And when you become sensitive to it, you become a sensitive being. It just means that you can feel all of those things with like every fiber of your being, So the spiritual awakening process, like I've said, is magical. It is incredible. It is filled with so much beauty, which I'll get into in a second. But it's not easy. It's not all love and light and butterflies. There are beautiful, amazing parts where that's exactly what that is, right? But it's filled with learning about yourself, learning about the people who you are in relationship with. It's about learning what you want out of life, why you're here, what draws you, what are you passionate about, what things need to be changed, what things can stay the same because they're great and they actually are really aligned with you. Seeing all those things for exactly what they are. And in doing so, you find out who you truly are. who you truly are. You're not the victim anymore. You are understanding that life happens for you, not to you. That the people who come into your life came into it for a reason. They may be there still, they might not, but that's not the point. The point is that they came in, they taught you something, and you taught them something in return. There's always an equal exchange somewhere, somehow. Look at that. 1, 2, 3, 4. I wonder how many times throughout this episode I'm going to refer to my clock. Anyways, it's all incredible. It really is. The good, the bad, the ugly, all of it. The awesome part about the spiritual awakening journey is the freedom. The freedom of seeing things for what they truly are and getting past the facade. But there's also learning how to live in that new awareness of what things truly are and who people truly are. You're creating a whole new world for yourself. And when you listen, oh my goodness. I call God Great Spirit or Source. Great Spirit speaks to you. Speaks to you. Do you know how incredible that feels? How much that makes you feel so loved? Beyond measure. Oh my goodness, beyond measure. When you are walking through life feeling insignificant and like, everything, why does everything happen to me? And blah, 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 and why me? And this and that. And feeling insignificant and feeling small and feeling like your voice or your opinion doesn't matter. When Great Spirit, when Source, when your guides speak to you, it's the most love that you could ever feel. Like, that's what churches talk about. Like, I don't know about you guys. I think that everybody has the right to feel and think about however they want to, because you create your own reality, so of course you will. And guess what? That's what makes the world go round, right? But my personal opinion is that is what has been spoken about forever. Forever. Like, thank you, Jesus. He's a cool guy. He was a man who lived, and he knew. He knew about all of this. All of it. The most love that you could ever feel is acknowledged by Source, by your guides. They see you, they hear you, they know your heart, and when you start listening, they will talk to you. They talk to you all the time, but it'll be louder. And the more that you acknowledge it, louder it gets. And the crazy thing is that like on the spiritual awakening journey, like you start to realize the gifts that you have, the energetic gifts that you have. There's people who can walk into a room and like their core, their central being is so high vibrational and so filled with love in like such an intense way that they can change the entire atmosphere of a room just by walking in there, not even saying anything. And like, I know people like that. They are here. They exist 100%. That is a superpower. That is called alchemizing. Taking something that was and transmuting it. You're changing it into something else that is beneficial. There are people that I know very well who can sit next to you, and you can have the biggest smile plastered on your face that you want and be the greatest actor in the whole world. And when they sit next to you, they feel what you're feeling and sometimes annoyingly call your bluff. But they are the empaths. Those people are here, and they're all waking up to their superpower, because that is a superpower. You know, there's people like me, many people like me, who can see energy through my physical eyeballs, see the colors around people with my physical eyeballs, and interpret energy from their energy field as like a visual image in my mind's eye, or just like a knowing through my crown. That's a superpower, you know? And like, all of us are special. Don't get me wrong, all of us are special, every single one of us. But like, I am not special because of that. Like, I'm special because I'm Mandy, just like you're special because you're you. Every single human being on this earth has the ability to do these things. Every single one of us. I know that the government's biggest fear in the whole world is everybody waking up to the level of awareness to where they understand their superpower. Because that leads us to understanding that we are way more than just this physical vessel. We're way more than just a 9-to-5 job and sitting in a cubicle and not seeing the sun all day. We are energy. We are connected to the divine. We are the divine. We are connected to every single organic being that is created upon this earth, because we are as well, you know? So that is my spiel on spiritual awakening through my filter, my lens. Oh my goodness. I'm so excited for this. Super nervous. I don't have a problem speaking in front of people. However, like, speaking on a platform like this is very intimidating, and I am working on helping to heal my throat chakra. So this has been calling to me for quite a long time. So here we are. Many episodes to be had. Oh my God, there's so many things to talk about. I mean, just off the top of my head right now, like, the Fae, starseeds, dragons, petrified giants, addiction, and how people who like are... Addiction has always been like a very prevalent thing in my life. Lots of family who have been battling with that for a long time. My sister passed away about 7 years ago from that. I can't even count on my hands and toes how many friends I've lost from addiction. And like, I'm in my 30s. You know what I mean? So, but what I've come to realize with that is like, okay, well, why has it been a theme in my life? Because that I'm here to help like understand what that is, what causes that. And one thing that I've noticed, I haven't cracked the code yet, you know, who knows if I ever will, but one thing that I have noticed is that like, people who are air quotes psychic, like I said, all of us have the ability to do all of these things, but sometimes we're born with it really loud, and it is too much for us to take in. Like, it's way too much input coming into our energy field at once, with feelings, emotions from our environment, from other people, things that we feel super heavy ourselves, things that we carry around that are not ours, or like information that's coming through in a way of just knowing, and you might think that you're crazy, or, you know, whatever. Different visuals that you might experience that might just be way too freaking much. Like, people numb those things down with drugs and alcohol to like bring themselves back into their body because they're so out here all the time that they're like, nope, bring it back in. Nope, I'm cool. I'm fine. I got this. I got, I got it. No, you don't. And it's a very unhealthy way to ground. It happens. It definitely happens. Drugs, alcohol, all the things. And no judgments, man. We're all human. But that's something that I'm definitely going to make an episode about as well. So many things. All the things. I'm so excited to talk about all of the things on here with you guys. So thank you so much for joining me on this first ever episode of Brain Flowers. So I'm very excited and thank you, and I can't wait till next time.